Guys, I have an idea. How about we form a band together?
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
it's a good idea.
why not? Why not?
That's good.
Yeah.
So, do you guys play any instruments?
Yes. I want to play kompang.
I want to play harmonica.
I want to play ukulele and I would like to try drums.
I want to play guitar.
Oh.
I'll play the piano.
Okay.
Alright, I want you guys to get to know your instruments. Go back home and read about the history of your instruments. Because tak kenal maka tak cinta.
Okay.
Okay.
Will do.
Hi, Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Muhammad Alif Al-Hakim bin Abdul Azim. My group mates choose a musical instrument and I will specifically talk about this one special musical instrument that nearly forgotten by younger generation. Do you want to know about my instrument that I'm going to talk? Let's go check it out. To know more about kompang, I will borrow the kompang from the son of kompang maker. Assalamualaikum sir.
Waalaikumsalam.
Can I borrow this kompang?
For sure, yes.
Thank you sir.
Welcome.
I bet most of you guys already know what is this. This is kompang. But don't you know what is the history and the background of this music instrument? If you guys want to know more about this instrument, let's check it out. Kompang is a traditional hand drum played in groups using interlocking movement to produce various composite rhythms accompanied by choral singing. It is usually played in official ceremonies, religious recitals and Malay wedding. The rhythm of kompang music is composed by only two different tembah. According to the mnemonic system, the two tembah played on the kompang are called boom pa, boom pa. Bam is performed by beating the instrument near the edge of kompang with closed finger. It's called pukul kuncup or closed beating. Sound of boom is perceived as slow and softer compared to tembah pak. And tembah pak is produced by beating the middle of kompang. Fingers are open and is called as pukul kembang, open beating. Unlike the tembah bam, tembah pak is produced by beating the instrument with strong and powerful beat. Kompang is a well-known traditional music instrument among Malay community. In early days, kompang was called as rebana, which is in Arabic is drum. The Malay word kompang loosely translated as to hit or to beat. Rebana, kumpang, terbang bibit is a different name that called by different countries. Kompang is categorized as rebana family. Kena tahan. Hi guys. Do you want to know more about kompang?
Yeah!
Good. So kompang basically is single-headed frame drum consisting of two main parts. The balo, which is the frame, and the head, which is the muka. The balo is frame made from tropical hardwood carved into circular shape. Some of the players call frame as balong. This is where the player hold the instrument. The muka is a drum head made of animal skin such as cow skin and goat skin, depends on types of kompang, and is attached by nails and surrounded with the lace of red cotton. The edge of the open of the balo is called as lip or bibe, but none of the kompang player or kompang maker known what is called as bibe. So do you want to know a little secret about kompang? Okay, basically, before you play the kompang, you can put the kompang below the sun because it will produce a better sound and you're good to play. And enjoy your kompang.
Piano. What is a piano, you might ask? A piano is a percussion instrument. It is made out of black and white keys. A piano is played by pressing the keys down, which will create different sounds for each keys. For example, the keys are divided into two sections. The right side, the treble clef, and the left side, the bass clef. Who's this, you might ask? This is Bartolomeo Cristofori, the man who invented the piano in the 1700s. The idea of the piano was derived by the Chinese harpsichord. This instrument was traditionally played by the Chinese during big events or weddings. This is how the Chinese harpsichord is played. The way sound is produced by the piano is similar to the Chinese harpsichord, but instead of the plucking of the string, the sound is made by a complex mechanism inside the piano which uses a hammer to knock on the strings within the piano. As you can see from the video, every time a pianist presses the key, it will trigger a complex mechanism. This mechanism works like so. It begins with the pressing of the key, which triggers the whip-in. The whip-in is a seesaw-like mechanism, where if one half goes up, the other half will go down. The whip-in then triggers the jack, which pushes the hammer towards the string. So every time this hammer knocks onto the string, it will create a sound depending on which key was pressed. Here is a video of a piano being assembled. What you saw just then was the key being pressed, which triggers the whip-in, and this is the hammer, which will knock onto the string. Back to the history of piano. Up till the 17th century, the Chinese harpsichord were being played. Then came the first piano built by Bartolomeo Cristofori in the 1700s, which was improved in the 1800s into the first grand piano, and then a more compact version, an upright piano. In the 1980s, however, the piano was digitized into a keyboard, and later, to keep the concept of the piano, they had it built in the form of a conventional piano, and they were called clavinovas.
This is ukulele. Ukulele is a portable instrument with a small guitar-like body. They have many types of ukulele such as soprano, concert, tenors, and baritone.
The ukulele is a portable instrument with a small guitar-like body. It consists of a short neck, a main body, 4 strings and turning keys, a bridge, a fretboard, and a sound hole. There are a variety of different types of ukuleles, including the soprano, concert, tenor, and baritone. The ukulele comes from Hawaii and is a subset of a large family of string instruments, usually with nylon straps and only 4 strings. According to the translation of the Hawaiian language, ukulele means jumping feeling, or in Malay, kutu melompat, probably due to the way the game on this musical instrument that requires nimble fingers plucking strings like fleas jump. The ukulele was originally introduced in the 19th century in Hawaii by Portuguese colonizers and merchants, and later became a musical instrument of the Hawaiian cultural community. It was only in the 20th century that this instrument became very popular when it was first introduced in the United States.
The harmonica has a long history beginning in China with an instrument called the sheng. The harmonica was further developed in Europe early in the 19th century. With the first harmonicas manufactured in Germany, the best known harmonica company, Horner, is still based in Germany. Matthias Horner introduced the harmonica to the 19th century America, which really began the modern history of the harmonica. The harmonica was cheap and easy to carry, perfect for a country on the move like America back then. While there were many harmonica types, the most widely used harmonica became the 10-hole diatonic, like this. What does it sound like? Many people have not heard the harmonica played well, something that it can be done. This is not true. Also, many people are familiar with the harmonica, think that it is only for blues. Again, not so. For example, listen to this tune. It's good, right guys? It is called Billy in Low Ground. In Western country, most commonly used harmonica has 10 holes, like this. Each hole has 2 metal reeds inside it. When you blow into a hole, one of the reeds vibrates and produces a sound or a note. When you breathe in, the other reed in the hole vibrates and produces different note. So each hole can produce 2 notes. There are 10 holes and therefore 20 notes. Actually, you can produce more than 20 notes. Harmonica was first invented in China a few thousand years ago. The instrument called the sheng had bamboo reeds and became a prominent instrument in Asia traditional music. The sheng was introduced in Europe in the late 18th century and soon became popular. In the early 19th century, European instrument makers began instrumenting instruments using metal reeds instead of the wooden ones used in the sheng. In about 1820, a young instrument maker named Christian Friedrich Buschmann created an instrument with metal reeds, which he called the aura. The instrument became popular, however, it only provided blow notes. So that is what all about harmonica. So usually the harmonica is played during Christmas. So this is the example of harmonica played during Christmas.
It used to be the sound of Christmas morning. You'd wake up to your sugar mouse and your chocolate Santa, and you'd open the little slim box and blow a few desolate notes on your new mouth organ. Most of us got no further than that.
Hey! Hello everyone. Since my group is doing music instrument for our multicultural project, so today I'm gonna show all of you a music instrument called recorder. Recorder are also known as internal Dutch flutes in the group of woodwind musical instrument. Is a flute with whistle mouthpiece here, or also can be called as fifer flutes. How to differentiate recorder with other Dutch flutes is by identifying the presence of thumb hole at the back of the flutes and 7 finger holes at the front. Recorders are made in different sizes and names with different vocal range. The recorder I'm showing you today is the soprano recorder, which is also known as discant flute. It is the third smallest instrument in the modern recorder family. Recorder is invented in Europe around 17th century to replace the whistle sound made by our mouth. It became popular in Europe around 20th century, where a lot of people start playing it, and it is used as educational instrument in Europe. The sound of recorder is often described as sweet and clear. Nowadays, recorder has become popular all around the world, including in Malaysia. It is widely used in Malaysia educational institutions, especially Chinese primary school. Chinese primary school use recorder as their educational musical instrument in Malaysia. Most Chinese primary school in Malaysia use recorder as one of their assessment in music class, and it becomes one of the unique culture in Chinese primary school. In Malaysia, we can always see Chinese primary students performing recorder in their school events. So, most of the Chinese primary school students, no matter they are Chinese or non-Chinese, are able to play recorders. So today I'm gonna teach a simple lesson to teach all of you how to play recorders. First, we need to know how to place our fingers in the correct position. We're gonna place our left hand thumbnail at the thumb hole at the back of the recorder. Next, we're gonna place our index, middle and ring finger on the first 3 holes at the front of the recorder. Then we just put our index, middle, ring and pinky finger on the remaining 4 holes in front. So this is the correct finger placing in playing recorders. Next, I'm gonna teach you the recorder notes. By placing all of our finger at the correct position, it is C. Next, by moving our finger one by one from the bottom, the notes are C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and for the last 2 notes are C minor with the second holes and the thumb holes behind, and D minor without the thumb holes behind. There are a few things that you have to take notes when playing the record. First, make sure you are placing your finger at the correct position for the notes. Second, make sure you are covering all the holes tightly to avoid the sound crack. Third, make sure the whistle mouthpiece of your recorder here are not wet. If you can take notes of all these 3 important things, now you can start practicing your recorder skill. Usually, beginner will play 3-chord song at first and slowly add more notes into their practice. Now let me show you how to play a recorder with a simple song. So that's all for my part. Hope you guys enjoy it.
Plucked string instrument was the very first guitar that appeared in Spain in 15th century. Classic guitar was created by Anthony de Terra, born in Spain in 1870. The instrument was actually called a viola from around the mid-1060s, but the guitar as such never achieved popularity as a classical instrument due to its limited sound projection compared to other concert instruments of the times. It also consisted of 4 double strings. 4 double strings indicate that the instrument had 2 strings on each course, along the full length of the neck, for 8 strings in total. A 5 double string version appeared around the year, with a 6 single string version becoming popular in Europe in the mid-1080s. The 6 single string instrument is no doubt the closest ancestor to today's guitar, and it is even called the 19th century guitar. Antoine de Torres was a son of a tax collector born in the village of Le Canada near Almeria in the far south of Spain in June 1870. At 12, he was apprenticed as a carpenter, married with his wife Joana Maria Lopez in February 1835. After many incidents happened to his life, he went back to looking for work at Sevilla. Torres seemed to have spent some time in Granada learning to make guitars, possibly with the local maker José Bernes, who is often described as his teacher. He increased its volume. He made his guitar not only larger but fitted them with thinner, hence lighter soundboard that were ahead in both directions, made possible by a system of fan bracing for strength. Torres' guitar was tomed with good trebles and basses of silk thread, overworn with silver. His first guitar was framed at a guitar museum. Guitars are chiefly constructed of wood, most of which is sourced from outside Japan. Wood is easily affected by temperature and humidity, and extra care is needed in areas where the humidity is extremely high. The top plate of classical guitar is constructed of spurs or western ridge cadre. Spur wood tends to be sticky, and produce a clear, high sound and used in a guitar. Conversely, Western red cheddar is known to produce a soft tone and low mellow tones. How Malaysians use the guitar? Classical guitar are usually used for the beginner. We all know how much the Malaysian people love to lepak out with their friends at the middle of the night. While having a conversation chilling together, one or two of them in the group will play the guitar while others will enjoy the music and sing along. Malaysia also loves to basking in the middle of the city. Attract people while they are walking. They will earn money while during basking too. Not to forget, most people nowadays like to cover a song of their favorites. Most of them are using the classical guitar too. So here is the example of basking and covering your songs.
The drum set was initially referred to as a track set, and from the late 1800s to the 1930s, drummers were referred to as track drummers. By the 1870s, drummers were using an overhang pedal. Most drummers in the 1870s preferred to do double drumming without any pedal to play multiple drums rather than use an overhang pedal. But then on 1909, William F. Ludwig and his brother Tobat Ludwig founded the Ludwig and Ludwig Co. and patented the first commercially successful bass drum pedal system, paving the way for the modern drum kit. Wire brushes for the use with drum and cymbals were introduced in 1912. The need for brushes arose due to the problem of the drum sound overshadowing the other instruments on stage. Drummers began using metal fly sweaters to reduce the volume on stage next to the other acoustic instruments. Drummers could still play the rudimentary snare figures and grooves with brushes that they would normally play with drumsticks. The drum is one of the oldest instruments in the world. This instrument was used before 6000 BC. Africans used drums to play music, accompany traditional dances, warn of danger, or instruct troops to advance on the battlefield. But of course, it doesn't look like it is now. At first, the drum only consisted of tom-tom. The invasion of Europe and the Middle East into Africa caused the drum to be known and developed for the creation of snare drums. In the next development, in 1500s AD, Europe tried to conquer America to form a new colony. Europeans brought Africans to trade so that European, African, and Native American cultures mingled with one another. But Africans must not play white music. Therefore, they created a drum set, which is a set of drum musical instruments from African drums which they brought to play music. It was only in the 20th century that Americans began to be interested in learning the drums, and then the drums grew even further into their present form, which is acoustic drums.
These are the parts of the drums, such as snare drum, hi-hats, crash cymbals, high tom, bass drum, right cymbal, low or floor tom, mid tom, and also drum tools.
Nowadays, playing drums are one of the culture in Malaysia where all races can play them without being racist with one another. Some people play it for learning, doing performance, busking, and play it for a hobby.
In conclusion, although we come from different cultural backgrounds, we always have that one thing that will unite us all together. In our case, it is musical instrument. We were able to make a band out of all instruments from different cultures and races. Guys, come on guys. Wait guys.
Come. Mana boneka aku? Ini gitar siapa ni?
1, 2, 3. Tak ada, macam sebenarnya sangat suruh dia clash. Ya, duduk kau. 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 Ya, duduk k
Ya, duduk kau. Okay, ayat last.
lagu sikit. Serius juga.
Tak.
Ha, ni nak